Chinese authorities say they've evacuated almost 300,000 people as Typhoon Gaemi makes its way across the east of the country. The storm made landfall on mainland on Thursday after severely affecting Taiwan and the Philippines. Public transport, offices, schools and markets have been shut in some cities in Chinese Fujian province. Let's speak to our China correspondent, Stephen McDonnell, who's in Beijing. Stephen, like I just said, we've covered the impact Typhoon Gaemi has had in Taiwan and in the Philippines. What's the situation like in Beijing right now?
Well, as you said, it's already caused a major path of destruction on the way to the Chinese mainland, when it hit Taiwan, hit the Philippines. To give you an idea of the power of this storm, major commercial ships have been sunk, including an oil tanker off the coast of Manila. They're still searching for missing crew. Some of those, sadly, are presumed dead. Now, the good news is that after the storm hit mainland China, it's been downgraded. However, hundreds of thousands of people have been moved to safer areas. Transport services are still down in southeastern China, including trains, including planes. And the concerns are that this storm, albeit a downgraded one, is going to still push heavy rain into the middle of China and the north. The reason people are worried about this is that a typhoon just like this last year caused flooding in the north of the country, and as far away as the northeast of China, a famous rice crop was completely destroyed following the rains that caused flooding after a typhoon. And so while it may have been downgraded, while the winds may have eased off a bit, still a lot of people are worried that this is not over.
And I mean, if you compare it to the typhoon we saw last year, which, triggered historic flooding as far as north of Beijing and caused nationwide losses of around nearly $30 billion, what are the fears for this one? What impact will it have on the markets?
Well, sadly, potentially very similar. Now, of course, weather can change very quickly in these types of circumstances, so people are preparing for the worst but hoping that that won't come about. Scientists here, of course, are blaming all of this on climate change, and they're saying that unless something's done about it, you're going to see catastrophic weather events like this. I mean, sure, China's always had flooding and always had droughts, but it's the frequency and the severity of these events which has scientists worried. The summer is getting longer and longer. Heat waves are starting earlier, finishing later. Heavier rains, much more destruction to crops and to people's livelihoods. And that's why the government here, like in many other parts of the world, says it's taking climate change very seriously. The problem, of course, is that the remedies are not coming quickly enough.
That was Stephen McDonnell updating us from Beijing. Thank you very much indeed.